Hi guys, coming to you today with a Beastmaster Hunter Best in Slot Gear Guide for patch 9.2. This is going to consist of where the best items are, how to acquire them, what you need to be doing and aiming for to get your character as strong as possible to accomplish the goals that you set out for patch 9.2, whether that be raiding or PvP or M+, whatever your fancy is, we'll get you there. Just stick along with me. So as always, before we get started, I would really appreciate it if you wouldn't mind leaving a like, subscription, comment. It helps so much. 1,000 subscribers is the goal. Once we do that, we can get monetized, and that's that would be big. So that's my hope and dream. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and let's get started, shall we? To begin, we're going to start with our weapons, because I think weapons are the biggest, well, they are the biggest damage component of Beastmaster Hunters. They're the biggest contributing factor, specifically your DPS. And you'll notice here that it says 161 to 240 damage, 67 DPS. This is not accurate at all. If you multiply that by like 100, maybe, I don't really know what the multiplication is. Don't take my word on that. But to put it in perspective, right now a top end BM Hunter is doing about 11k in 9.1.5, but it's about a 5% damage, about a 500 damage increase to go from a 246 Sylvanas bow to a 259 Sylvanas bow. That's 13 eye levels, right? But it's 500 DPS, which just goes to show these numbers really don't mean much, right? So keep that in mind as we go throughout. The weapons you're going to be wanting are the Astral Verdict or the Yasam Rift Breaker. This one drops from the raid, the 10th boss of the new raid, at 259, 272, and 285. It's a really good weapon. It's got great stats for BM Hunter. You want crit, you want haste. Crit and haste are our best stats, with verse not far behind. So Yasam the Rift Breaker, the same great stats, different stats, but haste verse are great anyways. But you have a very cool effect where your damaging critical strikes will grant you a stack of pre-natural charge, and when you reach 5 stacks of this pre-natural charge, your next critical strike will consume all stacks to tear open a rift near your target, inflicting some arcane damage. This damage will scale. This is the 236 version, so it'll get higher. It'll drop from Tazavesh. You can get it up to I-278 out of the Great Vault. It comes at I-262 if you get it from an M+15 drop, but you can upgrade that with Valor to I-272. So it's a very, very good weapon, and 272 is nothing to laugh at. So anyways, let's move on to trinkets. The main trinkets we're going to be using are IQD. It's always, until they nerf this trinket, I mean, this might be good next tier. Like, it is so strong. I don't exactly know how new tiers will end up working with trinkets. I'm assuming this won't be strong enough to continue, but IQD is a very, very good trinket. It's dropping at I-262 from M+15, 278 from the Great Vault. Gives you lots of great stats, secondary stats. Has an execute. Can do a lot of things. Give your healers mana, which is not great for your DPS, but it can heal you. It can break crowd control if you're CC'd. Does lots of things. One of the best trinkets in the game. I'd prefer not to use this again. I'd like to use new trinkets, which is why I'm providing the Scars of Fraternal Strife and the First Sigil as alternatives for you to use. Scars of Fraternal Strife drops from the Jailer himself, so the 11th boss of the new raid, and it is very strong. It gives you lots of different effects, kind of like IQD, that aren't hidden. It has no primary stats, unlike IQD, which is very big. But you'll have lots of secondary stats, and I'll go over that in the next slide. The other raid trinket you can use drops from the 5th boss of the new raid, Prototype Pantheon, and it is called the First Sigil. It gives you a massive amount of versatility, which is around 33% damage bonus for 20 seconds, along with defensive stats it'll give you. And it's really, really good. It also resets the cooldown of your Covenant ability, which is probably going to be Soul Shape, because we're going to be playing Night Fae if we're playing BM, more than likely. There's also a possibility, but I think Night Fae is going to be the move. And yeah. Anyways, the trinket Scars of Fraternal Strife has lots of abilities, kind of like IQD, but they stack. So you're not getting any primary stats, but instead, at first you'll get haste increased by 68, then verse increased by 68, crit, mastery. Oh, I shouldn't say 68. Don't take my word on that. This is a 233 item level, and it's going to be 52 item levels higher at 285 if you get it from Mythic. jailer, so these stats will be really good. And in the end, once you get all of the runes activated, your last rune will give you all of the secondary stats doubled for 30 seconds. So it's pretty good. Takes a while to ramp up, but as you're ramping up, you're getting lots of power throughout the fight. However, you're also getting lots of negative effects throughout the fight. For instance, the first rune, 10% of all damage you take is going to hit you again 3 seconds later. That's a lot of damage. All healing you take is reduced by 5%, making it harder to get rid of that damage. You're now bleeding for 456 damage every 2 seconds. The fourth rune will, your spells and abilities start slowing you by 2%. That's actually really massive. You need to move. So that's going to be a tricky one to play around. I think that one might be the worst of the rest. And when the final rune expires, you take 10k damage on top of everything else. But then you clear everything, so you have time to catch back up. The benefits are really good. The negative effects are really bad. So it's going to be great for damage. I think this is like pure damage-wise, this is the best trinket you can have. However, how much damage are you going to be taking in compensation for that damage that you're getting? It'll be interesting to watch. I don't think it'll be good for progression. I think it will be really good for parsing though. So keep that in mind. Anyways, moving on to the necklace, we have 2 real options. World Killer Iris drops from the Jailer at 285. However, it gives us mastery. And if you're a Beastmaster Hunter and you've been playing for a while, you know that if we could have 0 mastery, we would take 0 mastery, because mastery is a terrible stat for us. Most of our damage comes from a lot of our damage comes from our pets, but like the way it benefits, it's not full value because we run 2 pets and that value is reduced. I think it's like 65% of mastery is actually working, so it's a horrible stat. If you can avoid mastery, avoid mastery. That's why, even though this is a 285 item level necklace, I would take the 278 eye level necklace personally. Gives us crit haste, which are great stats for us. And then it also has a cool ability that teleports us to the location of one of Cartel Zai's associates, which I think means that it teleports you to Tazavesh, the dungeon, but I'm not completely sure on that. I haven't tested this yet, so I'll be honest. The teleport will be cool to figure out where it goes. But one thing I will note about crit, we will have a crit cap at 45%. I believe it's 45% for BM hunters, where once you go above that, you don't really need any more crit for that because your kill command will be an automatic crit. So with these numbers, pretty much you want to get 45% crit, and then you want to max out your haste, and then you want to max out your versatility, kind of in that order, with haste and crit being about interchangeable. So these are our tier pieces. We have 3 here, which are going to be the hands, shoulders, and legs. And then we have the head and chest on as well. We're not going to use the helmet. We will if it's like we only have 4 pieces and we need to use the helmet. But as soon as we have all 5 pieces, we're going to want to get rid of our tier set helmet and craft our Unity Legendary on there, because it gives us the highest stat budget. Our tier set itself is going to, well, the 2-piece is going to give our kill command critical strike chance an increase. Our kill command critical strike chance is increased by 15% for each stack of frenzy that your pet has, which is the buff that you get from using barbed shot. And you're going to be constantly at 3 stacks, which means you have 45% crit. This is why I'm saying 45% earlier. That'll get you 90% crit, and then you'll also have 10% passive crit from what is it? Something gives us the kill command, or the barbed shot talent you take. I believe it's tier 45, gives you like 15% crit, or 10% crit. So it's 45% crit cap. Our 4-set piece, kill command critical hits increase the damage and cooldown reduction of your next Cobra shot by 40%. So basically, you're going to be cycling through kill command, Cobra shot, kill command, Cobra shot over and over, because you're reducing the cooldown and increasing the damage of the other one. So it'll be very back and forth kind of play style. Be really good single target, not very good in AoE, but great single target. So moving on to our legendary, we're going to have 2 this tier, which is dope. We're going to have Clasp of Unity. This is the belt that you get for free from the campaign, the main story quest. and it'll change its effect to whatever covenant you are. So if you're a BM hunter and you're a Night Fae, you're going to get Fragments of the Elder Antlers, right? If you're Carrion, you're going to get the 10% crit buff. And so we'll be playing Night Fae more than likely. So when Wild Spirits hits a fewer than 5 targets, there's a 100% chance to hit twice with Wild Spirits, which is really strong. We'll craft it on the helm, so we'll change it from the belt to the helm. Once again, for the largest stat budget, you'll get more stats. The chest is a 285 piece from Raid, so you want to use it on the helm. And then our second legendary, when we get access to this, will be while Bestial Wrath is active, your pet's critical damage is increased by 35%, which is massive because we're always critting with our kill command, right? So that crit is going to be increased by 35% anytime we're in Bestial Wrath, which is already giving us like a 50% damage buff. So very, very massive. Lots of single target damage. It's very cool. Anyways, moving on to our rings. There are a lot of rings that you can choose from. This is the only one from the raid that I would recommend. It drops from the 6th boss. Gives us crit haste. Fantastic stats, 278. There's no 285 ring that I would recommend personally. The other ones have mastery, and as mentioned earlier, we want to avoid mastery as much as possible, so it's actually worth taking the 7 eye level hit to not have a 285 ring and instead have a 278 ring. So you can get any of these rings will work. They're fantastic. They all come at 272 if you upgrade them with Valor, or 278 from the Great Vault. You can get one from Plaguefall, Sanguine Death, Tazavesh. The new dungeon will have one, so that'll be fun to farm. 2 from Necrotic Wake that are very good, and then 1 from the Theater of Pain. So if you need to, feel free to pause the video and check these out if you want to look closely. I'm just going to kind of blow by these kind of fast because I have a couple more things I want to get to and keep the video kind of short for you guys. But I'll put timestamps in the video, so please, if you need to see something specifically, I'll have it marked for you. So yeah. So our cloaks, before we have access to double legendaries, these are going to be our best. Shroud of Sire's Chosen is the only raid drop. Only raid drop. And it drops from Lords of Dread, the 9th new raid boss. Gives us great haste, good stats. These are all M+. We do have one from Tazavesh. This one's from Plaguefall and Spires of Ascension over here. The new Tazavesh cape. Same eye level, crit haste, great stats. So I'm personally going to be farming Tazavesh a lot, I think, because I think it's a very fun new kind of dungeon that we can do on M+15. So that'll be a lot of fun. Rygalon, the 10th boss. Oh, these are wrists. Sorry. Rygalon will drop us a 285 wrist that we want to be using. But until we get that, we can use any of these 2 from M+, which are Sanguine Depths and Spires of Ascension wrists. 278, 262 from M+15. You can upgrade to 272, obviously. Our belt, this is the one we'll be using week 5 until we recraft Unity onto our helm. But it gives us haste mastery. We don't want mastery, but we have to have a little bit of mastery until we get the Unity crafted elsewhere. So something to consider. But our belts after that point, after we get our new legendary crafted on the helm, are going to be, we have 4 options really. Livum, Vigilant Guardian from the raid, both drop great belts, good stats. This one has a little flavor text, no bad ideas in a brainstorm. I like that. Kind of gives me a Mana Storm vibes a little bit. You can also from M+15 get Plaguefall and Sanguine Depths belts. So those are good to take. For boots, we have 2 options from the raid, and then sorry about that. 2 options from the raid, and then 3 from M+15. They're going to be these 2 from the raid, 5th boss and 7th boss. They're going to drop at 278 from Mythic. And then these 3 from M+, which are The Other Side, Theater of Pain, and Necrotic Wake. And yeah, that pretty much takes care of the best gear. I thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button for me, never have to even look at another video again if you don't want to. I just, 1,000 subscribers, I can finally monetize the channel. So it would help me out a tremendous amount, and I'd really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Sincerely. Peace out.